Hello, everybody. This is James here. I'm here with,
Luca.
and we're here to tell his story on how he came to Israel and what for. So go ahead.
Alright, so you already know my name. I came here from Serbia. My story is that I have a great grandparent that was Jewish, and so my parents have the right. So not me, but my parents, or one of them anyway, has the right to make aliyah. Aliyah, if you don't know, is like a return to Israel. It means that you have the right to return or anyway move to Israel permanently, and of course get citizenship, all of that good stuff. So that's what my parent can do, and me, I thought before that happens, because it's a bit of a process, I'd come here by myself, check it out, see what it's like, maybe earn a buck, and well, of course, earn a buck, and that's pretty much my story.
And like, what was the process coming over here for that? Like,
The process coming over here for me personally was finding a listing online for a job. It was through a certain agency. They are providing work in Israel, and that's how I came here. No, hey, I use this agency. I come on a tourist visa and then I work.
I got with
No,
that. Okay, and like that you're here now. Like, what are you doing for work? Like, how do you get through the days and the nights and stuff here? Like, where do you stay? And
so like I said, I used the one agency, employment agency, that found me a job here, and what they were saying before I even came here, I talked to them, and what they were saying was that they were looking for people to come here and be dishwashers, like somebody that's gonna come into say restaurants, places
yeah,
like that, and wash dishes for 'em. And they would also give you a place to stay, your like accommodation. It would be a shared space, so you'd have like a big apartment or something like a dorm, and you wouldn't have your own room in it, but you'd have a roommate, so you would have a bed in there, you would have some small space like a cupboard or something, wardrobe to put your stuff in, and but basically you'd be sharing your room, you'd be sharing your kitchen, your the whole apartment you'd be sharing with all these people, and these people being the other people who happen to contact the agency about the same thing you're looking for, basically. And then if you want to come with somebody, like, I don't know, if you want to come with your family or some family member or friend, somebody that you know, then you basically, you could talk to the agency about it, and you could say, hey, I'm coming here with my dad, my brother, my friend, whatever, and I don't want to have a roommate, or I want my roommate to be my dad, my friend, or whoever I'm coming with, and you could do it that way. Some people did it that way and are doing it that way. But if not, then you can imagine you come here alone, and your roommate or roommates are some people that you don't know, you never seen in your life, but you wouldn't be the first one to do it, and there's a lot of people, believe it or not, doing this kind of stuff, like
I mean,
James
but like,
being.
is that hard though? I mean,
Yeah, of course it's hard.
coming here.
I mean, uh,
Like, you have to put forth the effort whenever you come here to.
yeah, listen, like, the agency will find your job. It will find you the accommodation. It's not like, for me, I had to pay money to come here. Like, of
Yeah.
course, you have to fly in. I mean, not that there's not not that it's not possible to get here by other means. Like, you don't have to use a plane, you don't have to take a flight. Depending on where you're coming from and what kind of places you want to go through. But basically, you have to pay for your trip by yourself, or at least that's the way that I had to do it. So you have to have money for that, and I happen to have some experience, working in different countries, and it's not always like that, but still, at the very least, you want to have enough money saved up so that you can survive until your first salary, and you want to be sure that you can make it. You want to be sure that if there's something that you don't like, or maybe you don't like anything, and you want to come back, you want to be able to do so. You want to be, have money for that.
And like, I mean, but how was your life in Siberia, right?
Serbia
Serbia.
is a country in Europe. If you you know, just to let the people know, it's a country in the Balkans. It's in between Hungary, Macedonia, Bosnia, Montenegro, Romania, Bulgaria. You know, just just to put it on the map for everybody. Uh, a life in Serbia, well, is different for a lot of people, but for me personally, I can't say it's all roses and pink clouds or whatever. Uh, it's a poor country. Like, I'm not gonna lie to people. Like back when I was getting my first jobs, getting started in Serbia, I was working for something like $250 a month, 250, 300, something like that. That's the kind of background that I have. That's you know what most of the people, the median salary was like, not the average, not some bullshit statistics, but actual, real life, situation for most of the people living in that place. And me being from the capital city, the place where most of the money goes to, and with the highest salaries in the country, that's the kind of money that that most people had. And a lot of people are gonna say, but hey, it's a poor country, it has different prices, maybe that's a lot of money for Serbia. Listen, uh, whatever, no matter how poor the country is, it's not gonna get you far. Like if you have, like, say 300, and then you need to pay like 150 in living expenses. I can lie to you that $150 is gonna get you somewhere, but it's not. Especially, if you need a doctor or something, they need to import stuff, from elsewhere to, you know, drugs or whatever they need to treat you, or even food, stuff like that. It's not cheap. Maybe you want to go somewhere abroad for vacation or whatever. You want to have a life that, like one should have, like in the big 25, right? $150 a month is not gonna get you there. And you know, looking back and looking at what it's like now, more than like say more than 10 years in the future, now that the salaries over there are closer to like 650, 700, saying like the median salaries in Serbia. Well, the costs have risen too, so now you have to pay like at least $500, just to survive. That's without you going to bars or for a cup of coffee on the weekend or whatever. So it's I want to say it's better. I really want to, but I don't want to lie to anybody. Like, if you're a generic worker, you're not a doctor, you're not some kind of specialist or whatever.
I mean, but like while you're here, like what made you choose Israel? Was it a connection to the homeland, to the Holy Land, or how was it? Because some people go, yo, whenever I came to Israel, I felt this spiritual connection, this connection to the land. And some people, I said, oh, yeah, I went there and it was a really good place. Then some people say it wasn't for them. So what was your reason for coming? And like, do you feel connected to the land, or how do you feel?
I wanna tell the people, as short as I can. But basically, I have a longer background of working in different countries, because I come from this poor background and poor country. So you know, starting to work in the Czech Republic and some of these poorer European countries, and eventually going on to work on cruise ships and stuff like that. For getting better and kind of making a name for myself, kind of.
Yeah.
Anyway, uh, so you would reach a ceiling, like a top, like a cap, like a market cap
Yeah.
for salaries. Everybody's trying to get better and get ahead, right? So,
Yeah.
but you're not gonna get there by doing this generic work. So eventually you're either gonna get a higher paying job, so that you don't have to spend so much money, so much time, trying to save money, or you're gonna pay for some, invest in yourself or whatever, in order to try to get better bucks. And the way that it happened for me is that I basically uh, spent a lot of time doing this generic work, and eventually I'd reached a cap, And what I said was, I want to invest in myself, but I need a lot more money. And I was getting tired doing this kind of work, going to these kind of places, and I was thinking of what to do next. And Israel, you know, I got interested in it because I remember seeing these job ads, a lot of times, Israel, and they would offer, much higher salaries than what I'm used to, than any of the places that I could go to, like people from Serbia mostly going to these places like the Czech Republic, Croatia,
Yeah.
Germany. You will hear about people going to Sweden, going to Norway, going to these very rich countries, going to the United States. But situation is very very difficult. I don't want to bullshit about geopolitics and nonsense like that. But the thing is, Serbia is in Europe. It's not a member of the
It,
European Union, and this kind of thing is limiting, the people like me that have a Serbian citizenship